With rebels and raiders eliminated at Cocherel, King Charles V faced one last threat to France: the relentless English invaders. Word arrived that the English army was weak and scattered, divided by infighting. The king quickly directed his army to chase down the old enemy of France at Pont-Valin.
哎呦，有旧炮欸！
The French town of Pont-Valin lay directly in the path of marauding English soldiers on the hunt for loot. The town's only hope of survival lay with the French forces camped nearby. The French quickly prepared to ambush the disorganized English raiders and defend Pont-Valin from ruin.
守住城镇中心哪里？这个吗？真的啊，要营运了。烂的啦，不赢了。我们这边好像没有金矿。肉。
The main English army thundered into the valley. They paused to rest beyond the town before launching their raid.
Audite, venies, servientes.
Colonnes sont ici.
Colonie.
Vado a match.
Si.
是，哎，
Parate. Si. Quelme. Vado a massar.
你们先去采集呀。几分钟。
Parate pour venir.
附近没有。
Ici va toast. Tourna. Arquière parade. Venez auditer. Barats pour labourar. Come sono le cose?
The first group of English raiders began their attacks on the outlying farms. After destroying the farms, they would attack the town of Pontvala.
Obeio. Zitto.
好像来不及。
Six hommes.
Auditez. Vieni, vieni! Aiuta!
他们过来的路线不止一条呢，至少2条、3条哦，线。
Udite bene. Barats pour labourar. Buenos días.
亚贝。
Barats pour venir.
肉跟木头都不够啊。
Tourna. Arrière Barat.
二
Tous audite. Dams de retourna. Campbell.
Ecce man demand. 6 hommes.
你们到
Cos'è sarà massonata? Arrière Barat.
Ecce
你
man
们
demand. Cos'è sera massonata? Quoi de labour? Vado labourare.
More scattered English raiders arrived and made their way towards Pontvala.
Me plect. Cos'è sera massonata?
Vale. Udite servientes. Barates servientes. Quitte. In avanti. Udite. Ognio. Près de labour. Parade pour venir. Colonnes requiem mondement. Vado labura. Vado labura. Prate terra. Bene.
Parat pour labora. Escolte bene. Monacial pour la materia. Ciso mes. Seco materia.
Parats pour labour spérance. Bene audite. Gitte.
哎，这团是不是有点强啊？
Attention. In avant. Près de labour. Audite.
有点强啊，有点强啊！哎，
Audite servientes. Quiete, cavals.
一兵先过去了。
Lanques, sopra perfecte. Labour spérance.
哪不能干那个？怕我们那个搞一些五四战的东西。果然，
Qued me, non desqued.
你的士兵
Escolte bene. Retorno con materia.
Cavallari presente, seguimi.
我现在还在这一块这个区块盖比较好。
Si sommes. Io ma sono la cose. Tutti audite.
黄金哦，金不足啊。
Secco materia.
More scattered English raiders arrived and made their way towards Pontvala.
Bene
bomba
audite.
啦！
Attention. In avant, servientes.
你们太远了，就在那边就好。
Les maçons sont ici. Audite, servientes. Menacez pour nos. Arco in arco. Scarra formata. Quiete, cavals.
等一下，好像撑太住啊！啊，装甲骑兵弄不赢啊！
Bene audite. Bene. Arco in arco. Attention. Arco parade.
肉不够啊，木头还可以。
Ecce l'imandement.
Tuts audite. Retorno con materia. qui affecte. Vamos, vale tous.
Colonnes sunt mauvais colonnes. Colonnes, partier. Auditez.
行不行啊？好像不太行哎。
Bene auditez.
需要3座那个农场。有多少人？8个人。
Cos'è sarà massonata? Attenzione!
上路的人支援。对啊，还有2分钟啊，好像来不及啊。
Homes, preparate! Ciclocrate! Mitlek!
还有，应该是快12点的。
Homes, preparate! Obedio!
后面有。
Eccelima, sì, comprendo.
弓弩兵，
Vado lavorare. Tendo.
哇，这团我不知道，好麻，好硬，肉还不够。
Manda squadra! Io ma sono una cosa.
The English army chose their
Back
moment
off.
and began to close in on Pontvala.
卡住！啊，你赶哦！产兵速度没那么快啊。
Bene, bene. Parates, sergentes. Si est.
哇塞，这个量我好像不行啊，因为调度来不及。
Audite. Intendo.
来不及呀、
Buen labor.
啊！ 这个，这怎么打呢？
Veichier laisse commandement. Obéis au commandement.
Lancière au nord.
我靠！来不及支援啊！
Oyez tous le monde. Je vous amène Mériens. Oyez les ordonnances. D'accord. Vécuer Mériens. Il nous strike.
Balance Brest. Alarme Prox Lanciers. Corrège Lancière.
Citos. Suis sans prêt. Bien, bien. Thaïs.
Compagnon, ayez bien cœur.
Oh yo啊！
Que faut-il donc besoigner?
Die Chevaucheurs sont prêts.
Balance Lancière. Gardez-vous. Compagnon. Oh, il est Cartas.
输不赢啊！
Chevaucheurs. Les chevaucheurs roulent. Chevaucheurs.
没有啦！
Lancière, gardez ce box. Lancière, plate. Lancière en plate.
May et mon destrier sommes Brest. Orsus, pas au destrier.
Lancière au nord. Lancière, gardez ce box.
啊！
Compagnon, lance sur feu. Envoy, quick envoy.
Hey, jeunesse compagnon, oyez bien. Le dégage sera complet.
Besoin à faire. Courage, lancière.
Hey, ici, Novels, commandant. Il ne faut que la Les autres laissent commandement. C'est le Suisse de dégaster.
Un ordre.
Il n'y vole que la bise. Die Gewolscher, soyez boulettes dans sa manche, Gewolscher. Die Gewolscher sind frisch. Sie obéissent à votre commandement. Seigneurs avions mouru, compagnons.
En besoin. Laissez-moi exprimer.
这团人比较少，只可以冲是还好啊。
Pigs, ce destin si joué. Les autres laissent commandement.
Respecte le sens de l'ennemi.
Personne suisse.
Azertan seulement. Provence avouer un mestier des bois. Laissez-moi exploiter. Un besoin va servir.
Paillets Yves donc. Giovanni Basti.
Oyex les ordonnances. Tous de Yalaurets.
Gewolscher, j'entends faire à votre avis. À l'arson suisse. Gewolscher, soyez prêts.
别叫我信。
Pays novels commandement. J'obtiens faire à votre avis.
Corrige l'entière. En ordre.
这团中间的军特别难打，让人讨厌。 里面好像跟不上来呢。
Les chevaucheurs sont du besoin. Il n'y faut que la vie.
L'entière est plate.
Compagnon, oyez bien, tirez-moi, vos compagnons.
Oh, me faut trahir. Giovanni Bastir.
最后有办法盖真这几个东西出来就行。
Dicte-moi mon Versailles.
Les chevaucheurs sont prêts. Les chevaucheurs. Compagnons, oyez bien. Moi,
啊，终于消耗我！天哪，太难搞。
il n'y faut qu'y voient de s'extraire. Les chevaucheurs sont je laisse Dieu.
Archer! Les commandements viennent! Corrige l'entière en ordre!
那个打子扔中间区域会笑死。
After a hard-won battle against a scattered enemy, the French succeeded in halting the English chevauchés at Pontvalin. The English army was not invincible. The French cause was not yet lost.
日舰，不是犯贱吗？
Longbows were powerful weapons, but keeping archers supplied with ammunition was a major undertaking.
This is a modern arrow. Small and lightweight. Pretty much what everyone shoots these days. Compared to this, medieval war arrow. Look at the size of this thing. It's a beast.
A medieval army might need more than 1 million war arrows on campaign, and each one had to be made by hand. It was a labor-intensive business, and the person who did it was called a fletcher. First, a log is split into square staves. Then the fletcher uses a plane to start roughing out the shape.
Ugh, how do I get it round?
Not only have you got to make it round, you've got to make it bobtailed. Look at that.
Bobtailed?
You see that's coming down thinner down that end? There's a natural taper coming down there to that end.
A plane with a curved blade is used to create the taper. This makes the arrow aerodynamic.
This is an incredibly painstaking process for one arrow.
Most of them are just for one shot as well.
Next, a slot is cut to receive a piece of horn. The horn reinforces the nock. That's the notch that fits the arrow to the bowstring. Without the horn insert, the power of a heavy warbow could split and shatter an arrow. Once the horn is in place, the nock is sawn and shaped. Then the fletcher has to attach the feathers to the shaft.
Now what you've got to do is you've got to get rid of the stiffness of the quill. You're going to work it down so it's nice and thin.
So this is dogfish skin?
Yeah, medieval sandpaper.
The feathers are glued in place and then secured with thread. The final process is to arm the arrow with its arrowhead. The person who makes these is called an arrowsmith. From a blank piece of iron, he starts with the part that fits over the arrow shaft. First, he makes the bar flat, then uses a special former to create a socket. The final stage is to hammer out the shape of the head. Arrow stocks had to be prepared far in advance of a campaign. It was impossible to make them in sufficient numbers overnight. A medieval war arrow like this could only be shot from a big, exceptionally powerful bow. And it packed a mighty punch.
Oh, 天哪，还是这么贵的消耗品。
The French won an overwhelming victory at the Battle of Pontvalin. It was the first time the English had been utterly defeated during the war. But the triumph was short-lived. As England spent the next 60 years amassing French territory through alliances and victories at great battles such as Agincourt. It seemed that nothing could stop England. Who then could have foreseen that a teenaged girl was about to change the course of history? In 1429, France was in dire straits. Nowhere was it more evident than the besieged city of Orléans. The city was completely surrounded by English-held forts. But just a few days' ride away, here in Chinon, there was potential help. The French royal prince, the Dauphin Charles, was holed up in his fortress and under pressure to ride out to save Orléans. As Charles hesitated, a young peasant girl arrived at his court. Her name was Jeanne d'Arc. She claimed to have received saintly visions, giving her a divine task to help Charles become king and drive the English out of France forever. Charles was skeptical, but was soon convinced of her divinity. And he charged this 17-year-old with the near impossible mission to liberate Orléans. To Jeanne, this was the first step in realizing her God-given destiny. In April 1429, she rode out from Chinon at the head of her army to confront the hated enemy of France.
《奥尔良围城战》
Surrounded by English strongholds, and with its last line of defense under attack, the city of Orléans grew ever more desperate. In France's darkest hour, 17-year-old Jeanne d'Arc arrived with the king's army to liberate a city and prevent the fall of a nation.
好嘞，这要怎么处理？你有什么 buff？ 回血、激励，对啊，主要还是回血为主。为什么他要改那么远的地方啊？Holy shit！ 一大堆。这边用骑士。
The English had captured the vital fortification, known as Les Tourelles, on the south bank of the Loire. Orléans would live or die on its access to supplies. Recapturing Les Tourelles would be key to saving the city.
摧毁箭塔。
Preste porteur.
Courez-vous à l'Archéon et Prest.
那这只能用。
Dicte-moi vos commandements.
照得出来吗？这个。你好像已经确好了。
Prestus sans prest. Je suis votre serveuse. Vos chevaliers, pointe de merci pour la nommée. Chevalier. Intelligent marché. Jeunesse Légion.
Fuck.
Sommes en ordonnance. Roi commande de merci la nommée. Pointe de merci pour la nommée. Pointe de merci pour la nommée. Incontinent. Frontière, à la savante, mes seigneurs. Incontinent, pour votre service.
Archers, prenez vos axes. Le ferai-je donc?
Sommes ordonnance.
Ça y est, c'est moi besoin.
Advertence, tout le monde. Accordé. Giovanni Ballon.
Chevalier cesse le temps d'adventure, mes seigneurs. Voyez la son, chevalier.
Vincent, mon arc est prest.
Courez-vous, presse fort d'espartier. Ça, avant.
À l'arson, chevalier.
Ayez cure au commandement.
Eh, fuck.
Oyez, Feichi, commandement.
À l'arson suisse, j'obtempère à vos advices.
Pex, voisance. Bien ordonné.
Having suffered under the English siege for months, Orléans had sent for crucial supplies, but English patrols threatened their arrival at the city. If Orléans hoped to receive the supplies, the French would have to clear the road of English raiders.
À l'arson.
Les colonnes de sortent à camp. Devers compagnons, marchez derrière. Perfecte la zone. Si fecte sera. Oyez, laisse commandement. Courez-vous, presse fortifiée.
Acest mes vos, archers. Lancière, au passe, compagnon.
Que faut-il donc besoigner?
救一
Rappareillement
下，
en
救一下
train. Oyez, tout le monde. Doncia Lores.
Les courez-vous, sous cette tête. Amontri, avance. Zentri, Zahate. Je fais vos commandements.
Compagnon.
A supply convoy arrived in the city, providing the French army with much needed gold.
Feichi, les commandements.
Soyez prêts. Veichi les amis. Courez-vous.
Archers, les commandements gueule.
Les coups amontris, avance.
啊！购物郎来啊！攻城啊！我家。
Reste tous.
Commandement in continent. Compagnon.
Chevalier, reste pour un. Oui, commande de Mercenamis, chevalier.
Oyez, Feichi, commandement.
Compagnon.
Lancière en place.
Chevalier, reste pour un.
Pex. Veichi les commandements.
Chevalier, reste pour un.
Les courez-vous, sous cette tête.
Des soupes, mon esprit.
C'est fait comme toi.
Archers entier, allons primo.
Fais nouvelles commandement. Tirez du moins, vos compagnons.
Oyez les commandements.
Un besoin.
On ne faudra. Je vais rappareiller ce manoir.
à Montry, avant. Compagnon, marchette derrière.
Die Chevaucheurs sont prêts. J'ai besoin.
Die engins de siège assist.
Die Soldats d'Antarctique.
Compagnon, ayez bien cœur. Je lance une bordée.
Tournez-vous, prêt, fort guidage. De l'appareil. Devant, sous devant, Dorida. Surface, poste commandement.
Or attendons son commence.
Allons, ce sens plus attendre.
Seeing another supply convoy approaching the city, English raiders took up position on the road.
Engins de
The
siège
French needed to
attendent
eliminate
vos
the enemy
commandes.
detachment if they hoped to receive the supplies.
Lors de Van Snos à l'air. Oh, me fa au train. Advertens, tout le monde. Lors batige s'estu. Oyez, tout le monde.
Oh, me faut trahir.
Besoin à faire? Que faut-il donc besoigner?
Vayez-moi besoin. Veille à la mine. Que faut-il donc besoigner?
啊，出征游戏。
Soyez express. Faites les services.
Besoin à faire.
把的东西都塞一些尴尬的地方。盟友攻击，这里是会有人的哦。
Reste tous me translate. J'ai besoin.
Je donne expuemos a la son, chevaliers la son chevalier. A chevaucheur, si on
The French eliminated the English raiders, granting the supply convoys safe passage into the city. Each time supplies approached Orléans, English raiders would return to guard the road, hoping to plunder the French goods. Another trade convoy arrived in Orléans, with more gold to bolster the army.
Les coureurs sont vencés.
Oyez, si, les exploiteurs. Un besoin à votre commandement. Advertence, tous si comme volets. Laissez-moi y exploiter. Oi, messieurs de moi, oh me faut oi, mais suis sans quemi. Besoin, un besoin. Pour vous servir. Oyez les ordonnances. Oui, d'avance. Tous y allorez. Que faut-il donc besoigner? Advertence, tout le monde. Giovanni Basti. Bonne besogne et je fête. Ça est bel manoir. Oyez les ordonnances. Bonne besogne et je fête. Manoir assouvi. Bel œuvre. Oyez tout le monde. Ça est bel manoir. Lors batige s'est. Longtemps va-t-il demeurer? Longtemps va-t-il demeurer?
Oyez, les à Montry, avant.
Reste toutes est assist. Mobility search engine. Engine boss à l'artillerie.
这个田不见了，这个蛇田不见了。
Engin de siège, engin de siège, c'est partance nord.
Sommes on ordonnance. Redet sen von ordre.
Ayez de cure au commandement. Les restes toutes est à 6. Engin de siège, si partons nos. Veici les vectors nous à la voie. Bien.
Oyez, tout le monde.
Veici, venez-vous, et c'est des Spartans.
Advertance, tout le monde.
Il nous achille.
Giovanni Bastir.
Sommes on ordonnance. Il serait moult.
Engin, travaillez! Engin de siège, travaillez!
Il n'y faut que la nuit. Je vulture. Point de merci.
Reste pour la besogne, Manance.
修道院我们还有什么没干？行政中心都差不多了。
Sommes on ordonnance.
就一直给你压力。啊！
Another trade convoy arrived in Orléans, with more gold to bolster the army.
Besogne à faire? Fais à la mine. Reste pour la besogne, Manance.
Attendez les commandements, Manance. Bien. M besogne.
Oyez, les ordonnances.
啊，这个已经有了，酷啊！
Reste tout devant. Tous de ya, Laurette. Besogne nos attentes. Avertan, seulement.
Les autres laissent commandement. Chevalière, reste pour Astière. Si comme vos volgrès. Les chevaux chevronnets à Espérance, compagnon.
Dictez-moi vos commandements. Et puis avant.
Il nous achille.
Archers, allons brillement.
Le retraiette pose à moi.
Compagnon, ayez bien cure.
要从旁边过去，也是哈。
Avertissez votre
要
courage.
从旁边打进去呢。那这边家里他也会一直给那个压力，就很讨厌。
Besogne à faire.
啊，现在要民防。
Chevalier Bastien. Une 16 belle manouère. Bonne besogne aspect.
Avant, compagnon. Il n'est faut que la graine si soit-il. J'y vois de s'estère. À Cheswand, je commande avant. Avant.
哎呀，有人啊！
Pour votre service, je suis votre serveuse.
头堡在哪？好像不行哎，你就拆了吧。
Oyez, tout le monde. Lance bâti, je s'escuit. Bonne besogne, aide.
Reste tous sans près.
这里也投不到，打不到这边。
The French army torched the eastern English fort, securing a crossing to the south bank of the Loire River.
Courage, lancière. En ordre.
À l'arsenal, chevalier. Sommes anti comme was voldre. Bande, je commande.
Another trade convoy arrived in Orléans, with more gold to bolster the army.
Fuck.
Lancière, gardez de votre. Alarme, Volks lancière.
最后2座城堡效果。
Advertance, tout le monde. Lance bâti, je s'escuit.
Courez-our à l'Archéon est prêt. J'y besoin.
À Cheswand, je commande avant. Il ne sera ici. Je cours dessus.
Compagnon, lance. Cartas. En hasker i söks.
À l'arsenal, chevalier. Restus seront les soupes mon esprit.
Advertance, tout le monde. Lance bâti, je sais.
Restus sans presse.
Onjan vos attendent. Courage, lancière. Votre ordonnance. Oyez les ordonnances. Lancière en place. Lancière, ayez sa tour de guerrier, ça. Lancière en ordre.
À l'arsenal, chevalier. Si comme votre Sommes en ordonnance.
The last obstacle to Les Tourelles fell to ruin.
Incontinent. Si comme votre voldre. Attendez les commandements.
Lancière, gardez-vous.
Soyez avertis de votre courage.
Bayez moins besoin.
Oyez, tout le monde. Non, à l'oreille.
那我们研发都差不多研发了。
Le Certes. Je suis votre serveuse. Por vostre service. Incontinent.
Holy shit, oh my god.
Lancière, gardez votre.
Die Chevolchers escouten.
Dans un lance, chevolcheur. Compagnon, lance sur feu. Envoyé, quick convoy.
Que faut-il donc besoigner?
Advertance to the
8个人，对，伐木啊！
Another trade convoy arrived in Orléans, with more gold to bolster the army.
Mali Bastille.
军力
Ayez obscur, commande obéir au commandement. Les restes tous des ça. Allez, Oyet, Veichi, commandement, si comme le volet. Acus Tresvos, port d'Espartia.
一下子出不去。
Essai des Spartans. Engin de siège. Engin de siège. Si faut déguerpir. Compagnon Hectons nous à la voie bien brillamment. Engin de votre. Si sera affect. Oye. Or actondons ordonnance. Oye. Or actondons ordonnance. Seconde esprit. Engins movant nous. Archer. Prenez vos armes. Espringay assise. Oye. Si sera fait. Oye, tout le monde. Je veux s'amène Mairie. Les Springay attendent vos ordonnances. Page, Acus Tresfos, port d'Espartia.
Acces retrayets pos à moi.
Je force Page sans nul arrêt.
Attendez, laisse comme avant, compagnon.
Ayez un jumper, quoi une affole. Courage, lancière. En ordre. Envoyé. Oyet, square, à parmer. Venez-vous. Essayez des Spartans.
L'heure est de besoigner. Soyez prêts, compagnon.
Oyet, j'obtempère. Jumper.
干什么干什么？红红的。
Si comme le volet. Si sera fait. Entière, obéis au commandement. Oh, me faut trahir. Tous de y'a Laurets.
Attendez, retrayets pos à moi.
Mon arc
Die Chevolchers sont prêts. Vous l'êtes leurs arranges. Reste tous, cesse le temps d'adventure, monseigneur.
Entière, faites fort. Entière. Mettons tous à la voie. Bien brillamment. Entière. Prenez vos armes.
Accessi cum vos voldres. Apertisets vostre courage, compagnon. Je suis votre serveuse.
Another trade convoy arrived in Orleans, with more gold to bolster the army.
More gold.
Les Tourelles was the linchpin in the English siege of Orleans, blocking the main supply route to the city. If Jeanne d'Arc could capture it, Orleans would finally be liberated.
Archers, accoustres-vous, portez partir. Venez-vous, et si des Spartans. Mettons-nous à la voie bien brillamment. Pays, accoustres-vous, portez partir. Et excuse, mon arc est presque.
Saumus und Ordonnance! À l'arson, chevalier!
With the western fort destroyed, the French could safely cross the Loire River by this route.
哎，这团有点强啊，哥哥。没有做工程兵器。
Compagnon, un jumper, quoi une folle. Avance ordonnance. Venez-vous, et si des Spartans.
À l'arson, brûlez, c'est pas ordre!
Compagnon, lance sur feu.
Saumus und Ordonnance!
等一下你叫我干什么？
Tous sommes prêts!
Campagne mettons-nous à la voie bien brillamment. Accoutrez-vous, sport des Spartiens. Archers, mettez-vous, archers! Archers! Les commandements viennent! Archers, mettez-vous, archers! Archers! Prenez vos armes! Compagnons! Archers! Archers! Prenez commandement!
La mortadeuse de Vestos! Chevalier,
弓弩兵。
Archers, mettez-vous, archers! Archers! Oyez commandement! Archers, comme le volet! Lanciers, gardez-vous! Archers, archers! Chacun ses adversaires! Lanciers, gardez-vous! Comme il vous plaira.
Ça espèce, ma frère. Soyez prêts, compagnons.
Compagnon! Ayez cure, Hawks, j'observe. Archer, on the back, wait the foot!
Je fuis dans son pays.
Entière, merci, major fait. Archer, prenez vos armes. Mettons tous à la fouet, bien brillamment. Archers, oyez ce commandement. On the weapons, Archer.
Another trade convoy arrived in Orléans, with more gold to bolster the army.
Les engins de siège à 6. Oyez, si, comme vous l'êtes. Oyez, obéis au commandement. Jumper, point la folle. Oyez les ordonnances. Bien, Laurette. Besoin d'y faire.
Soyez prest, compagnon.
人口上线了。
Compagnon, nos allons. Bien oeil.
Veici acustres vos por despartir. Venez vos, et c'est des Spartans.
The main bridge leading to Orléans had been destroyed by the French to prevent an English onslaught. Jeanne d'Arc had to find another way to cross to the south bank and make her assault on Les Tourelles.
Vecuer Merias.
Oyez les ordonnances.
Archer! Voyez les 3 armes! Il y a en chance de siège à 6. Ne demeurez point slats to coin. Le ferai-je donc? Oil. À part même. Archer! Des commandements de guerre!
The king's army drove the hated enemy of France from Les Tourelles. With the main road to the city back in French hands, the English abandoned their long siege of Orléans. Celebrating a momentous victory at the head of the French army, Jeanne d'Arc would forever be remembered as the Maid of Orléans. medieval army on the march was a city on the move. No expense was spared to keep knights and nobles in the lap of luxury.
Knights lived in luxurious tents called pavilions, which they had all of their furnishing, proper chairs and tableware, real beds with fine linens, even wall hangings.
All this furniture had to be transported, and that's on top of what was needed for combat. Weapons and armor needed an army of artisans to maintain them.
The armorer's job on campaign was one of maintenance, constantly repairing, knocking out dents, simply changing straps, or replacing rivets that had broken. If you think of the knight as a race car driver, the armorer is his chief mechanic. Without him, he would not be able to function.
Also following an army was a band of opportunistic civilians, the camp followers. All vying to sell their services and goods to the soldiers. When on the march, most of the thousands of soldiers were mounted. Each knight would have at least 6 horses, all needing grooms, farriers, and fodder.
The royal household brought with them their clerks, their priests, essential for men who feared they might die in battle, and of course, their cooks.
The common soldier subsisted mainly on bread and a thick soup called pottage. It was an altogether different story for the knights.
A knight on campaign would expect the best food. So we have game, we have fine meats, we have fruit when it's in season, always cooked, because food is tied in with health as well. That's very important. And I'm just finishing off a dish here of spiced meatballs with a red wine and pine nut sauce.
French and English armies could be on campaign for months on end, maneuvering and skirmishing until they took to the field for a decisive battle. Jeanne d'Arc had liberated Orléans and put the English army to flight. However, as the English retreated, they became an obstacle for Charles the Dauphin. He needed a clear path from Chinon to Reims, where he would be crowned king. Nearing the town of Patay, the English sought to regroup. But Jeanne d'Arc and her French army were closing in.
哦，好像剩一2关了吧？我拼着，是不要拼好了，明天要上班。这关打完就休息啊。
Fleeing the Loire Valley, the English were on the run. As they retreated northwards, a French vanguard was in close pursuit. Caught out of position, the French faced a surprise attack from the English rearguard. A detachment of English archers blocked the road with palings, an effective measure against cavalry. The French vanguard had to clear the road if they were to call in reinforcements.
Bravo, compagnon.
Votre jet pose à moi.
老贝，
Bande, je commande. Avant. Si comme vos voldrez.
我是不是看到有人自己会中巨马？笑死！
With the road cleared, the French army could safely bring in reinforcements from nearby allies. The French army paid their ally and received a detachment of reinforcements.
Là, je suis votre serveuse.
只是直接变一波。 哦，50-60个单位。乌拉！
Hearing the rallying cry of the English coming from the village of St. Sigmund, the French were alerted to the enemy position.
现在还是全部骑兵哦。 抢劫！
The French recaptured St. Sigmund and prepared to rendezvous with Jeanne d'Arc.
Compagnon!
But a large English detachment had set up a blockade. So long as that force was in place, the French vanguard could not reach Jeanne.
不变百人大军啊，快点！
Je commande. Avant. Avant, compagnon.
我们得老油。
Votre jet pose à moi. Je suis votre serveuse. Avertissez votre courage, compagnon. Avant, compagnon. Incontinent.
With the English blockade destroyed, the French vanguard rejoiced at the arrival of Jeanne d'Arc and her troops. With their rearguard eliminated, the remaining English forces would now seek to escape the valley through the town of Patay. 3 enemy regiments were converging on the town along 3 main roads. Jeanne had either to stop the regiments on the roads or race ahead to fortify Patay itself.
占领那3个城，忘记有没有联络道路？有就还好，没有就很麻烦。占领，选择性是那一个好。我还需要什么？ 部队在哪里？切，
Compagnon, Sivey.
没错，没办法，没办法，他已经超过能框的那个大小。
Où dois-je, Reader?
Soyez prêts. Veichi les advis. Compagnon, marchez derrière. Si fait comme toi.
Les chevaux j'entends plaire à vos offices. Foulette, les chevaux, chevaux, chevaux.
Alors, ce sens plus attendre. J'ai besoin.
Sommes juste le temps d'aventure, mes seigneurs. Uniforme et la puce.
Oyez à mon cri, avant. Allons, ce sens plus attendre. Présence, bien ordonnée. Si fait que ce sera.
Soyez
Perfect, à la sonne.
chien dans un fil.
Si fait que ce sera. Compagnon, marchez derrière.
Reste tous le suivre.
Je fais vos commandes. Les enemies edge approuvés.
乱看。
Les courez-vous.
Je fais vos commandements. Si faites comme toi. Compagnon, marchez derrière.
24了。
Tex, vite.
Devers où devance Ridet. Courez où.
J'ai besoin.
As the forces of the valiant Jeanne d'Arc entered the town, the people of Patay rallied to her cause.
Voilà.要看一下有没有闲置昆明啊？有，木头也少的可怜。
Tex, veichi les commandements. J'ai besoin.
Homme faut trahir.
Oil, messieurs des mouets.
Alors se bâtit de s'estuer.
Un besoin. Oil, monsieur de Mouet.
Commandement in control.
L'heure.
Allons, ce sens plus attendre.
Besoin après.
Acest vos. Oui, abarmei. Oyez bien, compagnon. Oralbant.
Oyez les commandements.
Manons, prest à heurer. Oui, d'aves fouiller. Bien, oye. Je vous amène mes riens. Bien, bien. Veille à la mine.
Soyez prêts. À la sonne. À mon cri, avant. Présence, bien ordonnée.
Manance, offrance donc. Oui, reste pour la Manance, en commune. Provons savoir, mestier,
Des Spartans, Briemant.
Advertence de mort.
Je bosse amène Mériès.
The French army saw a chance to bolster their numbers and sent payment to their ally in return for reinforcements.
Commandement in continent, compagnon. Voisance, bien ordonnée. Allons, ce sens plus attendre.
哪有怎么这样运转？
Besoigne nos attentes, Manance. En besoigne.
Ici les commandements. À Chespet-Vos. Comme il vous plaise.
Attendez les commandements, Manance.
Sending gold to their ally, the French army received fresh reinforcements.
Soyez express. Belgi les
After an intense pursuit and a hard-fought battle, the French crushed the remaining English army, thwarting their desperate retreat. Now the triumphant Jeanne d'Arc could safely lead Charles to Reims for his coronation as King of France. Medieval soldiers suffered brutal injuries in battle. Their chance of survival lay with barber surgeons. From cutting hair to removing limbs on the battlefield, the job of a barber surgeon was varied, and so were their tools.
600 years ago, surgery was very different from today, and this is some of the kit that the surgeons of then would be using. For example, amputations. This bit of kit was used to cut through the skin. Then you need to get through bone, and this is what they used. Believe it or not, this was used for neurosurgery. But what they didn't have at the time was anesthesia.
Despite carrying out major surgery, barber surgeons had no formal training.
What they learned on the job, and the place where they practiced the most was the battlefield.
This was also a time when new surgical techniques were developed. particularly when it came to saving the life of a future king. In 1403, 16-year-old Prince Henry was injured in the Battle of Shrewsbury while fighting rebels trying to overthrow his father, King Henry IV.
The arrow penetrated his right cheek and became lodged at the base of his skull. He was very lucky it didn't kill him instantly.
Prince Henry pulled the arrow from his face. The shaft came out, but the arrowhead remained lodged inside.
They needed to get that out before infection set in and killed him.
To the rescue, celebrated surgeon John Bradmore. Bradmore recorded what he did to save the prince's life, including a picture of the tool he made to extract the arrowhead.
And it works by ensuring that the tip is closed and then inserting it along the track caused by the arrowhead until it meets the arrowhead.
Then the screw is turned to expand the tip, locking it in place inside the arrowhead.
And then ever so slowly and gently, you extract, making sure that you don't lose it along the way. I'm amazed by the skill that would have been needed to do this successfully. Can you imagine how good that felt when that came out?
The young prince survived to become King Henry V, hero of Agincourt. But perhaps the real heroes of medieval medicine were the barber surgeons, who saved countless lives on the battlefield.
应该是我看一下剩几个，那个，看能不能快速打完，剩一个而已。
Thanks to the explosive force of cannon fire, the French were close to victory in this century-long war. But in a final grasp at power, the English dispatched a fresh army, equipped with their tried and tested longbows. Formigny would be a trial of old versus new, to determine the fate of France. English commander Sir Thomas Kyriel sent a large expedition to crush the French in Normandy. The village of Carentan was directly in their path. Massively outnumbered, the French skirmishers near Carentan would give their lives to weaken the English. Though they fought bravely, the French skirmishers could only slow the English advance. The main body of the French army finally arrived in the river valley. The French now needed to locate and destroy the English army. But they would face a well-entrenched enemy with several local garrisons.
打。
The French destroyed the garrison at Brickbeck.
Délaissons ce studieux. Je vais devant, pris de derrière. Allons plus que le pas. Je vais devant, pris de derrière.
这就是一个死路。等等。
En avant, reste tous en Mesnie. Nous délaissons ce studieux. Allons plus que le pas.
French forces found a detachment of the English army, attacking the town of Valognes. If they could stop the attack, they might gain valuable resources. With the English attack on Valognes halted, the citizens moved to support the French army.
变我们的吗？
Ainsi soit fait. Oyez bien, délaissons ce studieux. Si sera fait selon votre commandement.
帮他补血。
Prêt pour les commandements. Reste tous en Mesnie. Dievus à moi.
办法说什么东西都弄。
Nous allons avoir les commandements. Votre destin est bien clair. Prêt pour les... Je vais devant, pris de derrière. En avant, reste tous en
Eh? Ih?
Je fais votre commandement. Oyez bien, je vais devant, pris de derrière. Allons, que le pas. Ainsi soit fait. Dievus amoi. Délaissons ces spligneux. Si c'est
The English base at Saint-Sauveur fell to the French forces, but the enemy army was still at large.
我怎么有一只在这边？我是，好，我是三座堡。
Je vais devant, pris de derrière.
有古诗了。不然越打人越少。
Voyez bien les commandements, Souda. Je fais votre commandement.
下血啊！
En avant, reste tous en Mesnée. Je suis archer. Viens-moi, Samuel. Je fais votre commandement. Allons, que le pas.
这个是可以生产补习的。
Nous allons avoir des commandements. Voyez bien, je vais devant, ligne derrière. En avant, reste tous en Mesnée. Allons plus que le pas. Délaissons ces spuiliers. Nos carèves sont prêts pour... Nous attendons les commandements. Nos carèves sont qui pour moi tout actif. Les coustuliers sont prêts. Allons plus que le pas. En avant, reste tous en Mesnée. Voyez bien, délaissons ces spuilieux. Ainsi soit fait.
啊，要开图，好累。
Je vais devant, ligne derrière. Allons plus que le pas. Ainsi soit fait. En avant, reste tous en Mesnée. Je fais votre commande. Nous délaissons ces spuilieux. Si sera fait selon votre commandement. Je vais devant.
The French forces located Kyriel's English army at a river crossing near the town of Formigny.
Vous faites crier, ronge la frappe. Votre ennemi est bien clair. Ennemi avancé. À plat jour.
Several of the Bureau brothers' heavy guns and other forces arrived to help.
Votre esdite est bien clair. Fiez-vous à moi.
Les engins de siège sont prêts. Les engins se meurent. Engins de siège, ça faut aller.
Presque sont vos moins. Je vais rabouder ces plaies.
Advis, engin de siège, c'est quasi assouvi. Ça, dicte-nous quelqu'un t'en abattre.
Oh， 人好多呢。
Prêt pour les commandements.
Even with their cannons, the French faced the difficult task of engaging the well-positioned English army.
那这个直接过去的，哇！ 骑兵是几乎全胜，骑兵剩一只而已。僧侣没了。
The French received word that their Breton allies had arrived with their knights and horsemen. Now the two armies could coordinate. The Bretons saw an opportunity to attack the English from the back.
Reste sum, cavalier, en voie pour la gloire.
夹击。
Envoyez vers la victoire, mes seigneurs.
As the Bretons attacked, the English had no choice but to pivot their front line, opening their flanks to attack from the French.
Nos accomplissons vos ordonnances.
Dievos à moi. Géride à Parmain. Une joyeuse coursée. Géride incontinent. Une joyeuse coursée. Géride incontinent.
Beset by the French and Bretons, the English beat a hasty retreat toward Formigny. The English survivors entered Formigny. The French would have to take this town to secure victory.
Moi ne délaisserai mon assiette. C'est à honneur.
Tout est ordonné. Ainsi soit-il.
J'attends les commandements.
Les engins de...
Avez-vous Encelon et Guidon.
Quelle triompheuse victoire! De siège, ainsi sera fait!
Avez-vous commandement pour Géride à Parmain? Les commandements militaires arrière après moi. L'ennemi nous assaut de longue traite.
Engins de siège, engins, c'est l'heure.
Nous allons de me plaire votre présence.
Engins de siège,
Les arbalètes sont des espèces. Il y a des
tout est ordonné! Votre paix va se montrer!
Au soudain, soyez
Les engins, ils vont bâtir de nous!
With the last English army destroyed and the gates of Formigny thrown open, the French force in Normandy was victorious. Their well-organized forces and superior firepower had brought the arduous 100 Years' War closer to its conclusion. Before the invention of printing in the 15th century, books were painstakingly copied by hand. The finest were illuminated with brilliant colors and real gold. Illuminated text wasn't just for show. Gilded illustrations decorated important passages to highlight their significance.
Gold was used in many medieval manuscripts from early days because it was very expensive and it indicated that the manuscript itself was valuable. The light would reflect from candles or from the sunlight, and so it looked as though the book itself was illuminated. In medieval manuscripts, it looks as though this is solid gold, In fact, it's not. The gold itself is tissue thin.
The solid appearance is achieved by laying the gold on a cushion of plaster mixed with glue, called gesso.
By raising the gold from the surface of the skin, that means that it catches the light even more.
The glue in the gesso is softened by breathing on it.
We then have 3 seconds to get the gold on, and I'm using a burnisher, which is a polished stone, just to make sure that the gold sticks. Then the burnisher is used to polish the gold up. See, it's coming up now. So it's coming nice and shiny.
Next, the miniature is painted.
The base colour will be done first, then the tints and the shades will be added, and finally, the white highlights and the outline, which lifts it and brings the whole thing to life.
The medieval paint box contained pigments from across the world, such as ultramarine from Afghanistan and orpiment gathered from volcanic craters.
It often took a long time to complete these medieval miniatures. This one between a month and 6 weeks, from start to finish.
An entire book could take a team of illuminators several years to complete. Many medieval manuscripts still survive today, fully preserved, with their colors just as vivid as the day they were illustrated. At Formigny, the roar of cannon fire sounded the death knell for England's ambitions in France. King Charles and the Bureau brothers did not let up on the offensive, and in 1453, the English retreated across the Channel. France was finally at peace. More than 100 years had passed since the first English chevauchés had scorched the land. The iconic French knights who fought in those early days would not have recognized their own military a century later. The English longbow, once the scourge of France, was no match for French artillery in the last years of the war. And by 1453, France's border looked very different, growing to encompass territories once claimed by England and their allies. After enduring a century of conflict, France emerged as a transformed nation. The country and its people had persevered and unified into a kingdom that could defend itself. Against all odds, France had won the 100 Years' War.
哎，我诺曼底没打，我刚诺曼底不是有打，在干什么？夺回诺曼底啊，不管啦，时间差不多了，没人在打。好，今天先开到这边，感谢各位收看。Thanks for your watching.